Hi folks. Well, a lot of you wanted me to talk about episode 7. Matt, talk about episode 7. Matt, are you going to see episode 7? Matt, after years of telling us you weren't interested in seeing episode 7, why are you not interested in seeing episode 7? I've been saying for years, folks, it's not the expanded universe. This is the reason I became a fan, not really the movies, though I like the movies. And any story that happens away from this story doesn't interest me. So a lot of you do understand it, and I appreciate you being understanding about my preference. But yeah, just zero interest. But we will talk a little bit about it because I hear a bunch of talk going on online about it. So before we start, I want to say, spoilers. I mean, I don't know where you've been for the past 2 weeks. If you didn't already see it, then I'm guessing you didn't want to see it to begin with, like me. That's fine. But anyway, I will be talking about spoilers. In fact, I want to talk to you about a spoiler that I gave July 16th, 2014 on my channel. Let's look at Past Me here, and let's have him tell you. All right, Past Me, what do you got to say?
Oh, spoiler alert. Han Solo will die in episode 7. You heard it here first.
And we sure did, folks. A year and a half before the film came out. Whoa! How do I always get it right? I told you in the video that I knew it was going to happen, so it doesn't surprise me that it happened in the film. Not at all. A few other things that some of you have given me credit for I do want to address. First off, someone said, "Oh, Matt, you got it right. They are the next generation of the kids from the originals." Yeah, but I think everyone knew that. And even when I made the joke, and this was back when Billy D. Williams had not been asked to come back to episode 7, I was like, well, what are they going to do? Make the other character his son? I was just kind of kidding there. Yeah, I got it right, but I was really just joking, so I can't take credit for that one. The other one was when I said in that video that they're going to take a lot of tropes from the original movies and put them into episode 7. Yeah, but I didn't know they were going to basically do the same plot line from episode 4, which is what so many reviews have said. And those reviews have been positive. They just said one of the big negatives about it was it kind of followed basically the same story from episode 4. I didn't think they were going to follow the exact same story from that one, but I kind of knew there would be a lot of winks to the originals, and while some people say there's too many, I know a lot of them still enjoyed it, and that's fine. This video isn't to tear apart episode 7 at all. I mean, I haven't seen it. I've been told what happened, so after I got told what happened, people thought, oh, what are you going to be? Are you going to say that sucks? What's going to happen? Well, honestly, I was like, what a great defense for the expanded universe now. Now, hear me out. Episode 7 basically is really just a rock-solid defense for anyone who loves the EU. A1, it solves all of the problems that people have said when they said, oh, I don't like the expanded universe. Why? Oh, it just kind of rehashes other stories from the movies. Well, what did episode 7 do? Sure, they remixed a few things up, but it is basically the same thing. I'm not saying that because I think episode 7 sucks because of that. No, I think that's what Star Wars is. A lot of the same things. People talked about how the expanded universe dealt a lot in super weapons. There should only be the Death Star. But no, there was the Sun Crusher, there was the Darksaber, and there was, can we count Centerpoint Station? It wasn't, I mean, it could be used as a weapon, but it wasn't necessarily made to be a weapon anyway. But yeah, we had super weapons in the old expanded universe, especially in the early days, not really in the Del Rey days, but Bantam days had like 3 super weapons. Well, now we know that the new movie is all about super weapons. In fact, they're about super duper weapons, right? I can only imagine that if the expanded universe did a book where there was this big planet destroyer, the size of a planet, not just a moon, but the size of a planet, that got energy from the sun and could shoot, 5 planets at once or whatnot, people would be outraged. They'd be like, look at that, another stupid thing by the expanded universe. However, they can't say that now because that's what episode 7 has. Again, this is not a slight on episode 7. Do I think it's stupid for them to have something better than the Death Star? I think it's a little uncreative. But the thing is, that is what Star Wars is about. It is about super weapons, okay? And now they can't deny that. All right, again, this is not me trying to slam episode 7. I'm just saying that's what the expanded universe had. And expanded universe fans, you actually know the plot line to the next few movies now. If a couple of you saw it and went, wait a minute, this is the Legacy of the Force storyline. It is. I mean, instead of his name being Jason, Han's son is Ben, which was Luke's son in the book. It's basically the same storyline, right? He was good, he turned Sith, and trying to take over the galaxy. So it's kind of funny how they got the same characters, they just changed the names. Have you noticed that Rey is Janna, right? Like the sister, which in probably this one they may be cousins. Who knows? They may be sisters. But we all know, Expanded Universe fans who watch this film, now they went, oh, I know what's going to happen in Episode 9. They're going to meet up again, they're going to fight again. Maybe he's going to turn to the light. We all know he's going to be redeemed. He is going to be killed. Spoilers. Episode 9 spoilers, sorry. That guy's going to be killed. He may be, maybe they're fighting and they turn and they both fight his master or whatnot, and he gets fatally wounded, and they get one last moment together. It's probably going to end something like that, very similar to Legacy of the Force. Now we know when Lucasfilm said, well, they'll hinder us creatively. We got to get rid of the EU. Because we want to copy some of the stories. Which is fine, It was a great, Legacy of the Force was a great story. It was a great story. I loved it. So, the fact that and I knew they'd do this, and this is why I wouldn't be interested, but they're basically just taking the same story, they're changing the names, of course. It's still Han and Leia's kid, right? I mean, we basically have the same story there. But at the same point, though, people who said, well, I don't like the EU, they got stupid ideas. Really? Did you like Episode 7? I loved Episode 7! Then you like the EU because they did something very similar 10 years earlier. All right? And this is just like Walking Dead. Remember, the comic books went first, and they were way ahead of the TV show. Well, the TV show's coming up with great ideas. They're borrowing storylines and characters from the comic books. Sure, they're making up their own new ones and their own new storylines as they go along, but they are pulling stuff from the comic books and putting it on the TV show. And people love it, but the comic books went there first. Well, now with these sequels, the books went there first. They're just henpicking what they like, mixing it up a little bit and throwing it on the stage. Okay, I mean, that's what they meant by, oh, don't worry, we'll take pieces of it that we really want to put in a movie. I didn't know they were going to put it in a movie. I thought it was just like little things like in books and stuff. But, I mean, to an EU fan, it's almost kind of flattering, right? I know some of you say, well, that's insulting because it's not as good as the story in Legacy of the Force. I agree. I think Legacy of the Force is going to be a much better story no matter what they do. But, like I said, if people want to see that on the stage, just with the names changed, all right then. But anyone who did not like the Expanded Universe, they don't have any room to talk unless they're going to hold themselves to a double standard. You have to uphold to something that they don't have to. But if they love the EU, then great. This movie, from what I'm hearing, is a great defense actually for the EU. A lot of EU fans who watched it said, I like the EU and I love this movie. Good. I know why. We all know why, right? And some of you have even shared that with me. So I've talked a lot about you. People who didn't like the movie, people who did like the movie. You have your reasons there, and that's fine. Again, that boils down to preference, honestly. But it is funny how this Episode 7 even killed off, one of the main characters, and how people are outright acceptive over that. I haven't seen much people blowing up about Han Solo dying. All right. However, when Chewbacca died back in 1999 in New Jedi Order, someone may have kept some of their comments for just such an occasion, because I knew a few years ago this was going to happen. I knew I was going to make this video, so I saved some of these stories, and there's only two of them that I want to talk about here because they do talk about the movies. Someone goes, killing off Chewbacca, terrible idea. They would never do that if they made sequels. Well, I guess they wouldn't kill off Chewbacca, but they would kill off Han. Another person says, he said, I'm done with the Expanded Universe. Killing off Chewbacca was the final straw. You do not, caps here. It says, do not kill main characters. And I highly doubt if Lucas ever made the sequels, remember Lucas owned it back then, that he would ever kill off any of the main characters from the original trilogy. Disney did. So, main characters die, and I'm so happy for people like, Sue Rustoni and Ari Salvatore, who got a lot of hate for killing off Chewbacca, and people saying that's not Star Wars. Killing off the original characters isn't Star Wars. Well, now they can't say that, right? Because it is Star Wars, okay? So the decision to kill off Han Solo, okay, that happens because we saw characters die in the New Jedi Order. So again, I think this is a great defense for the expanded universe, and I hope you do too. All right, folks, that's all the time I have. Hey, don't forget to donate to that billboard. I think the billboard project is a great idea. Do get on Indiegogo. Do donate with you can. We can make our voice be heard. And folks, I will see you next week talking about some expanded universe. See you later.